Hey there. If you're new around here, I'm Melinda.
I'm Tracey.
And we are the
Gallivanting Gals.
We travel the world to bring you all the best places to visit, the things to see, the things to do,
And the yummy foods to eat.
So please give us a thumbs up.
Hit that subscribe button
So you can follow along on our adventures. So today we wanted to give you an overview of the things we saw and experienced on our recent road trip in regards to hotels during COVID.
And the first thing I'm going to say is that all of the hotels said that masks were required, but we will say that that was not enforced.
Yes, there were signs on the doors everywhere, but, people were walking around without them.
Right. The second thing I would say is that they did have hand sanitizer stations, like by the elevators. They also had them at the front desk. That were available to everybody. Not that everybody used them, but it was there and it was available, and most of the time they were full.
Yeah. There were also social distancing markers at the front desk, and then if one of the hotels we stayed in had a coffee shop, and so the line for that did in fact have the social distancing markers, and people were following those.
Yes. And then they also, as with this whole COVID situation, there is no housekeeping unless you request it. I think it's like 24 hours before you want your room cleaned.
And they do say that the rooms are sanitized. Some of the hotels have seals on the door before you go in saying it's been sanitized, or there's notes, what their process is and how everything's been sanitized.
And then on the elevators, they had limits of either a family or no more than two people on the elevator at a time.
And then breakfast. That was a completely mixed bag. There were some places that had no breakfast. There were some places that had bagged breakfast where you just grabbed it. There was one place where they did have it, but they were behind plexiglass, and you told them what you wanted, and they handed you the plate.
Right.
The odd thing was, coffee service seemed to consistently be available out in the open where everybody could touch it.
Right.
Which was odd.
Yeah, exactly. Cups, lids.
Yeah.
Sugar, creamer, whatever. Yeah, it was all just kind of out there.
One other thing is that you don't, in the rooms themselves, the pens, the papers, the magazines, oftentimes you'll find like local guides and even TV guides. None of that was in any of the rooms we stayed at. Right.
And obviously you did have the remote, but a lot of them had a clear plastic cover over it where it had been sanitized.
Yep.
I guess maybe the last thing is, as far as the gyms in the hotels, if the hotel had a gym, which most of them do, it was kind of hit or miss on that.
Mm-hmm.
Some were open, some were not. Or some would only allow so many people in at a time.
Mm-hmm. So overall, our experience was definitely a mixed bag. We obviously brought our own, things to sanitize with. We've done a video on that. We wore our masks, obviously, and followed all the protocols. But if you are considering a trip right now, just know that kind of regardless of what the chain says they're doing nationally, it's going to be hit or miss completely depending on the location.
Exactly. Regardless of if there's signs everywhere, not everybody's going to follow it.
So obviously, our advice is take all the precautions you can, but be aware that not everybody else is going to have the same idea of that as you do.
Right.
Hopefully this helps you guys in planning your next trip. We know that a lot of folks are trying to finally get out and do stuff here in 2021, and we just wanted to give you our insight into what it's been like here just in the past February and March. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
Give us a thumbs up.
And make sure and hit the notification button so that you'll be the first to know when new content comes out.
Dingy dong. And until next time.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.